On the other hand, banaltone is the time of year when altcoins are all the rage in the cryptocurrency markets. When this happens, everything begins to go upward. Now, this is the Bitcoin halving cycle, which is this coding cycle for everything. It always happens in the year of the election. It usually arrives in the summer or autumn of that year. When the pace quickens and the absurdity sets in, they resemble bananas and appear when prices begin to rise. On the left side of a few charts that I've shared on Twitter, you can make out the banana zone immediately. Following a breakout into consolidation, a brief period of price appreciation and subsequent consolidation marks the beginning of the banana zone. A photo of a single banana with the caption "Bananas come to those who wait" was recently posted by Raoul, founder and CEO of Real Vision. Be patient. Cryptocurrency investors are awaiting this moment with bated breath, believing it heralds boundless opportunities, while the rest of us may just think it's another ridiculous internet meme. The phrase banana zone, invented by Powell, describes the next stage of the cryptocurrency market's accelerated expansion and significant volatility, when the prices of crypto assets will rise dramatically and trading will become extremely frenetic. During this time, there will be unparalleled prospects for the entire cryptocurrency industry, and it is anticipated that it will go absolutely bonkers. The banana zone is expected to commence in June or August of 2025 and run until December of the same year, according to Powell, who has not specified a precise start and end date. The famous macro analyst and ex-Goldman Sachs executive predicts a meteoric surge in the value and use of cryptocurrency during this time, expecting the total value of all cryptocurrencies to rise from the current $2.5 trillion to $10 trillion in the coming year. The present price of Bitcoin is $68,000, and it may rise to about $270,000 per coin as a result of this. The value of individual crypto assets might thus treble. Powell thinks the price of Bitcoin may reach $200,000 in the worst-case scenario. Solana and Ethereum are two of Powell's most promising cryptocurrencies, and he thinks they will exceed Bitcoin and Ethereum, respectively. They dove into Powell's predictions for the banana zone and the present status of the cryptocurrency bull market, while he recently shared these thoughts with Rand Neuner, presenter of the Crypto Banter Show. The recent approval of Ethereum exchange traded funds ETFs and their ramifications for the leading altcoin were also discussed by Powell, who is known to be an Ethereum bull. If you want to know all about Powell's projections for the crypto market and the banana zone, you should listen to his interview with Rand Neuner on the Crypto Banter Show. The Internet of Value, the layer of ownership, settlement, and all that jazz is now ours to use. That, however, would not be ours to possess, unlike the Internet. This can be ours. Therefore, the more it is utilized, the higher the number will be, and the more money we will make. This massive democratic system of distribution is thus based on equality. A tremendous quantity of money to an enormous amount of individuals. This space is now worth $2.5 trillion, just to give you an idea. The target range for this cycle's conclusion is $10–15 trillion. Assuming no change in growth rates, $100 trillion will be reached by 2032. I keep warning folks not to F up because the opportunity is so big. There's $97.5 trillion of money on the table, and that is simply through controlling the new internet. Therefore, that is the main point. Accordingly, there is a banana zone when everything goes completely haywire. After that, we get the periods when we can fix things, and the process starts all over again. Will this time iteration be flawless? Will there be any difference? This is based on the liquidity cycle, but there are no guarantees. The macro cycle is the foundation. Interest rates are the foundation. Many things form its basis. The purpose of governments and central banks infusing liquidity is to pay off debts. If you consider what liquidity is doing, this year we're experiencing the large debt funding cycle, which is responsible for the occurrence of the banana zone and the everything code cycle. Everything that's owed must be paid. As a result, they add funds to the system. Rate reduction are the means by which they do this. By using the reverse repo, they succeed. Their method is known as quantitative easing. They pay off the loan by any means necessary. All of that includes the United Kingdom, China, Japan, and Europe. They play the identical game then. Their preparation is complete. The government has been patiently waiting for inflation to decline before stepping on the gas. The increase in market capitalization is directly attributable to the increased liquidity. However, it reaches a point where significant increases are necessary to fund at least $10 trillion worth of assets. And that concludes it. That is a common occurrence. later this year and the year after that. And here's the thing, out of 108 million Coinbase accounts, maybe 10 to 12 million are actually using the service at this very moment. The number jumps from 10 million to 20 million to 30 million as you enter the banana zone. Suddenly there are a lot of people who can vote. The political clout of the companies operating in the ETFs is another factor to consider. Additionally, these individuals are currently facing a problem with funding. Why? Because in the event that they miss it, the wealthy backers of their super PACs begin to exert pressure if they make negative statements. It seems to be a more significant issue than they initially thought. Also, I believe Liz Warren uttered the fatal error of thinking we're assembling an anti-crypto army, while in reality we're up against a horde of internet-native, disillusioned meme artists. It's not a picnic fighting that. Given that RFK is also operating on a pro-crypto platform, I believe they are beginning to understand that this may be their own objective. Therefore, Democrats will either attempt to portray themselves as the party that opposes this or kind of give in. What about the audience for that? That strategy will not win over the swing voter. I was hoping for a turnaround after keeping an eye on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. It seemed like the ETF was on its way. That was the last time I expected it to happen. In any case, I did. I even released an update about this. Suddenly occurred the weekend prior to the release of this information. At the moment, we aren't seeing a lot of follow-through since new funds aren't flowing into the system. As a result, many are trading in ETH out of fear of missing out FOMO. Since the majority of participants have already committed, the real action begins with the ETF launch. None of us are really sitting on a mountain of spare cash. Therefore, we have all been assigned. It is imperative that you transition between the two. Because of the institutional flows, I believe that some Bitcoin holders will convert to Ethereum in order to participate in this trade. What BlackRock comes up with as a story is going to be the main attraction, in my opinion. Presenting the game. Tokenize the globe, in my opinion. Additionally, it should be noted that ETH accounts for 1/3 of the total size, with 20% or so of that amount being staked. More on that later. You'll start burning ETH again if you create a lot of on-chain activity. In other words, the quantity you have is quite low. The vast majority of Ethereum is sitting in a wallet, either staked or unstaked. As a result, the amount of ETH available for trading is minimal. The type of price activity that we see will determine this. The only thing left for BlackRock to do is include it in the portfolios. This has happened previously. Thus, I am uncertain. Shall we? So the Grayscale incurs a loss of $5 billion. Can we expect $5 billion in funding? In all likelihood. During how long a span? The duration is 3 months. Beyond the ETF, all it does is provide a veneer under which they can use ETH as a base for their plans. Reason being, the ETH ETF will not be utilized by Goldman Sachs. It shares JP Morgan's and everyone else's desire to tokenize assets and do other things using ETH. For Wall Street, yield is the most important metric. With yield, you may construct your own goods. There is a limit to what you can accomplish with yield. Buy call options with the ETH yield for guaranteed products or upside. You have the ability to design organized goods. You have a lot of potential, so I believe their interest in ETH has always been substantial. In addition, I've maintained for quite some time that the ETH yield and not its huge yield is the main attraction. Still, it's within your capabilities. Tons of financial engineering after yield arrives. In addition, everyone is interested in expanding the technology, be it on a layer 2 or an ETH. Tokenizing assets will begin in this space, nevertheless. By using Ethereum, no one loses their job. Thus, that is an option. Many of these individuals and financial institutions have been active in this field since at least 2015, with some having teams active as early as 2016.